Hi, this is Burns Hargis. I'm here at the Small Animal Treatment Room in the Center for Veterinary Health Sciences here at Oklahoma State University. You know, OSU has one of the best vet schools in the United States. It prepares veterinarians as well as doing primary research. Let's learn more about this wonderful place from the dean of this center, Mike Lorenz. Mike?
Welcome to the Veterinary Center, Burns.
Thank you very much. I've got a little
here.
bit of a sore throat here. I was hoping maybe you could have a look.
Well, by golly, bring me a...
Is it mange?
No, that's over here, I think.
Oh, I see, okay. Mike, how many vet schools are there in the United States?
There's 28 vet schools in the United States.
So there's a lot more states than that, so I guess we're training vets from all over the United States.
Our enrollment is largely Oklahoma residents. We have 82 in the first year class, 56 from Oklahoma, and the rest of them come from a lot of different states.
Now it's really just like we know about medical school. I mean, you've got to get your basic education and then you go to vet school for how many years?
Yeah, it's a 4-year program. Here in the U.S., almost every veterinary school is a 4-year program.
And do you specialize?
While they're veterinary students, no. They get an opportunity through an elective program to take a species track if they want, or maybe some discipline training. But when they graduate...
So I mean, if they wanted to focus on large animals, for example?
Exactly. Or if they want to spend a little bit more time in exotics, an area we're going to look at this morning. But when they graduate, they got the DVM degree, and the hallmark of our program are really well-trained primary care veterinarians. And I might add, a great deal of pride. They're nationally sought after because of how they're trained here at Oklahoma State.
And talk about the research that goes on here at this center.
Well, you know, the Veterinary Center, if you compare it to a lot of places around the United States, we're not a great big program, but we're very, very good at what we choose to do, and we have some focused areas in research that are...
And what are those?
Well, national program in biosecurity, homeland defense. We got a good program in toxicology.
Now, people wouldn't think about that really for a vet school. I mean, homeland security. Explain how our research assists that effort.
Well, one of the big concerns in this country is terrorists using a certain group of infectious agents, and it's either exposing the human population or the animal population to one of these agents. An example would be foot and mouth disease virus.
Okay.
Turn that loose here in Oklahoma. Why? Within 36 hours, it's just about everywhere. So veterinarians and our research program is really well adapted to studying ways of trying to prevent that disease, developing vaccines, very, very rapid diagnostic tests.
Now, you serve the state of Oklahoma in many ways, I know, not just training veterinarians and doing research. I mean, you actually have a hospital here.
We have a very large hospital here, and it's one of our bragging points for Oklahoma State. You know, we like to say we are the veterinary program for Oklahoma, and we don't have to lie about that because we're the only one in the state.
Now, you also do a lot of work with shelters in Tulsa and especially in Oklahoma City. Is that right?
Yeah, we have a very large shelter program. We started several years ago, and we have it with the city of Stillwater, we have a city of Norman, we have Edmond, we have Tulsa. We've had a relationship on and off with Oklahoma City. That relationship's coming back, but a student that goes through this program here at Oklahoma State are getting some really excellent hand-on animal experience.
And we're doing that training without terminating the animals, right?
Exactly. Makes everybody feel good at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's not alone a spay-neuter program. There's other aspects of it, routine disease, surveillance, etc.
Well, you mentioned earlier the exotic animals.
Yeah.
In fact, OSU's Vet Center has been in the news lately with an elephant, a very much beloved now, who was the victim of an SUV. Was it a hit and run?
I don't think it was a hit and run.
I guess after you hit an elephant, you probably don't run.
I think the elephant was the guilty party in this deal.
Oh, is that right? Let's go have a look at this kind of interesting area we've been reading a lot about recently, this exotic animal area.
You scared of snakes?
No.
All right, let's go.
Okay. Here we are in examining room, obviously, in the zoo exotic wildlife area of the Center for Veterinary Health Sciences. And with me is Dr. Connie Ketz-Riley, who is the head of this area.
Good morning.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you too.
I see you have a little friend here.
Yeah, this is one of our residents. This is Vivian. She is a female chinchilla, and she belongs actually to our service. And she is what we call a teaching animal, but we use the teaching animals for the students that take our service here so that they learn the proper restrain and
Well,
handling
show me
and
that, and
physical
then I want to ask
exam.
you more about this area.
So if you
Okay.
hold her on the tail, then
All
she
right.
can't jump out of your
Okay,
hand.
all right, Vivian. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I always found that with myself, actually. Tell me how you got into this area. I mean, you're
Well-
obviously not from Oklahoma.
No, I'm sorry, I'm not from Oklahoma,
Oh, that's
but
okay.
I like it here.
Yeah. Oh, this
I'm
fur is
originally from
fabulous.
Switzerland, and I was always very interested with wildlife and nature conservation, and that was my big goal when I got into vet school. And we didn't have big opportunities in Switzerland and in Europe at all when I finished. And so I had to come over here to the United States, where we have awesome programs, and I had the opportunity to do an internship in zoo medicine at K-State.
Mm-hmm.
And then come over here for a residency to Oklahoma State and work with the Oklahoma City Zoo.
Well, tell me about the program here. It's somewhat unique, isn't it?
It's very unique because we have the opportunity to teach the students about exotic pets that come in as patients, but then we also get a lot of native wildlife in that are brought in by Good Samaritans, so they learn about wildlife rehabilitation at the same time.
So you're not using Vivian here for research.
No, she is actually our resident, and they're just here so that the students learn how to properly take care of them, so they are involved in the daily care when they are going through our service. And then we do also physical exam on them, so that they, once per rotation, they get taken out and they learn how to restrain and handle them. So, and
Yeah,
they're
just like
good,
I'm doing.
yeah,
I'm
they're
kind of-
good-natured animals, so it's easy for the students, you know, to basically lose their intimidation about something exotics that they have never handled before.
I see. Well, let's talk to some of them. And Vivian, I really appreciate everything you're doing for us. You cannot believe how soft her fur is.
Yeah.
That's terrific. Let's bring in a couple of, that's Matt Stone, who is taking Vivian away. And then I think we have Dr. Brittany Hall, who is an intern here. Oh my goodness, what is it?
This is a barn owl.
Oh golly, look at that.
So this is some of the wildlife that comes into our service. So she's-
some farmer or somebody brought her?
Yep.
Is that a girl or a boy?
We're not sure.
Ah!
It's very difficult to tell with these guys for sure. They don't have anything on the
Yeah.
outside that lets us
I
know.
see.
So we would have to take a little blood sample.
You're treating this bird, right?
Yes, we're basically just helping
You ever
take
heard an
care
owl sing before?
take care of him until he's ready to be released.
Well, what happened in Zach's case?
In his case, there was a
can
nest
take Zach
of
back.
3 of
He's
these
all right.
guys
That's okay.
that were in a deer stand. And they were, that deer stand was taken down, so their nest was destroyed, so they needed a place to stay and be fed until you saw those fluffy feathers that
Yeah,
he has, until those feathers are shed and he's got all of his normal flight feathers and is ready to go out into the world. So
I see.
they're just staying with us until they're ready to.
So
take
the
on
other
the
two,
world.
what happened to the other two?
The other 2 are a little bit older, and so we also have some flight cages in a different part of campus, and so they're in a flight cage right now, and they're getting those wings. They've shed all those feathers. They're just working on developing the muscles.
Brittany, how did you end up at Oklahoma State? Where'd you go to vet?
I'm a Purdue
med school.
graduate
Purdue.
for vet school. Yes.
Boilermaker. Okay.
Yes. But I ended up here because of the internship program here in this exotics department. I want to specialize in exotic zoo and wildlife medicine,
see.
and so I'm here getting that very specialty training because Oklahoma State has that program
And
available.
that program, as we learned earlier from Connie, it doesn't exist just everywhere.
No, there's maybe a dozen or so total in the country.
So where do you, with someone with your training, end up? Is it a zoo or at SeaWorld or
Yeah,
lots of
all
places?
of those. Yeah, usually at a zoo or a place like SeaWorld certainly, or then at another academic institution.
Well, we have a student also here, a 4th-year student who is in this course. By the way, this is an elective. Oh, come in, Matt. Okay, here we go. What's this guy's name?
This is Harley. He's
Harley.
a 15-year-old red-tailed boa.
How old is he?
15,
Oh my gosh.
and you can touch him. He's
Well,
not slimy
okay.
like you may
Oh,
think.
moly. Matt, you're 4th year,
Yes, sir.
and I understand you're from Springfield,
Springfield,
Illinois.
but I'm a proud graduate of Oklahoma State.
Oh, great. How did you end up here at OSU?
Sort of long trip, but the vet school.
Yeah.
It was a good vet school, so I finished my undergrad here. in
Okay, now
neuroscience.
this area is an elective.
Yes.
Now, you can graduate from the vet school without having taken these courses, right?
Yes.
Why did you take this course?
Well, honestly, when I was young, we had a couple exotics. We had guinea pigs and such, and it was really hard to find veterinarians to work on them. And I'm probably going to go into small animal practice is where I'm heading. And it's just sort of a nice bonus to be able to work with exotics. I've always been interested in exotics. So it's just,
Well, we saw Vivian, the chinchilla, and we got Harley here. What do you learn in this class? What have you learned about Harley that might...
well, honestly, a lot of exotics, a lot of it's husbandry. A lot of people don't have proper husbandry. So
what
it
does
helps,
that mean? Just
care, humidity, heat, diet, things like that.
I see.
And a lot of people just don't quite, there's a lot of things on the internet and it's not quite right. And people
Yeah.
searching the internet. And so we kind of learn a lot about husbandry, and we learn about physical exams, blood draws, fluid therapy, IM injections, things like that.
Now, if Harley here wanted to kind of squeeze you, could he hurt you?
Oh, no, he can bite though. And that.
Oh, really?
That's why I have his head here.
Well,
yeah.
hi, Harley. What are you opening your mouth for? Because he has teeth, right?
Yes.
Oh, good. Yeah, boy, does he ever. Well, I'm sure you'll agree that this center is truly one of the real jewels of Oklahoma State University and the entire state. And we're very proud of it and proud of what all of you do. And I know Vivian appreciates it, as does Harley. And what did we name the owl?
Zach. We named him
Oh,
Zach.
Zach, that's right. Yeah, well, I did it. I
Yeah.
should remember that, shouldn't I? And Zach. So we appreciate Dean Lorenz hosting us here today and you all taking time to visit with us. And we'll see you next time on Inside OSU.